want to we get your opinions. We want to get your thoughts. We really want to have more of you guys part of the show a few times a week. So this time we are very fortunate to have my sister from another mister that rocked out with us from day one. I love this young lady. I work with her closely at work with the stuff that we do inside the community. If I had to go to war and be in the trenches, this is the person I definitely would carry along with me. So welcome my sister. I call her Cult Jam. Her name is Lisa Garcia.
All right.
Hey, Lisa, how you doing?
Hey guys, it's very nice to see you all.
What's up?
It's good to see you again. We always see you in the comments too. We love that about you.
That's my listen. Y'all think I talk shit at work? This motherfucker here.
My favorite thing to do at work is to get that man in trouble.
Yo, I'm so glad.
In a good way. In a good way.
In a good way.
I thought you was gonna be snitching or something.
No.
Nah, I've known her for over 15 years, I think, right, Lisa? Something like
that.
Going
on 18.
18, damn, 18 years. I didn't realize. So the thing is, at work, I'm glad it went to Zoom now, because this person here will have me in a regular meeting, resuited and booted, and will send me a text message. And I look at the damn phone, and I'm ready to bust out laughing. Y'all know I can't hold shit in. A good joke is funny as hell to me. I'm glad that we have Zoom now that I can shut off my screen and just crack and not have to listen to this fool right here, man. I love this girl. I love this sister here, man. This is one of my favorite people to ever work with, man. So how's your holidays, Lisa? How was your holidays?
Christmas was great. I got to see the family. Got to go to Long Island and see the majority of them. You know, I have a big family, so normally there's about 18 of us, but 6 of the family members decided to play it really safe and stay home. So we got to see everybody else and hang out on Christmas Eve. I have some leftover coquito that I've been drinking for.
I got listen.
All right.
So as soon as my son go back to his mom, I'm coming over there because I can't drink with him around because I'll be messed up over here. Because I can't. I have my full focus when Little D's in the house. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what's up. So Lisa, thank you for always hanging out with us and everything like that. What are some of your favorite segments of the show? How do you feel about where can we go with this? And tell us a little something.
Yeah, well, first of all, I really appreciate it, and of course, I'm going to support anything that you do, D, because I love you.
Oh, that's so nice. There's a check. You're trying to get a check.
hey, as soon as we get a sponsor check, one of these sponsors, I got to break off something.
Yo, people be late on their payments, man. Don't worry, it's coming.
Honestly, the thing I appreciate the most is just hearing the 4 of you speaking in the beginning, like what you were just doing right now. I just think it's really important to hear intelligent voices of color speaking the truth, right? We don't get to hear that often. And the 4 of you have some viewpoints that are different, some that are similar. I just love the way the 4 of you vibe with each other. And it's just good to see some, good, strong Black men doing the right thing. And talking about things that are very important. So salute to all 4 of you for that.
Lisa, thank you very much.
Thank you. You're more qualified to answer this than just about anybody, and we appreciate your support and commitment to the show. So if there's something that you'd like to see going forward in the new year when we start to take it up a notch, is there something that you can think of that you'd like to see more of or less of?
Besides Derek getting his feet done.
I don't think nobody needs to see that, brother. That should not be on the menu.
I mean, Derek, I'm gonna hook you up because according to your wife last week, your feet are beautiful. So you might not have to see that. I don't know. I don't know, but if that happens, I'm definitely looking forward to it because I know how important a pedicure is to Damon. So
you know me.
How is it working with Damon though?
Oh man, I mean, he knows this. First of all, we check in with each other work-wise at least once a week. So, if it wasn't for him, though, I think the 2 of us.
We went through a rough year together.
We had a rough year, and if it weren't for him, life would be a lot more challenging at work. So I really appreciate having somebody like D at work, and he's got everybody's back. Everybody loves him at work. He's well known. I always joke. He talked about this a few times on this show, and I made note of it once. Like he knows everybody, and everybody knows him and loves him. So he's just got that great personality.
Thank you. We love him too.
Don't have me crying on this show now.
Yeah, no,
I cried.
that's my man.
I cried too many times on these work Zooms and shit. It was a bad year for Lisa now, man. That's my girl right there. But Lisa, what was I about to say? Lisa, hey, listen, this is one thing. Lisa, you just made a historic moment on Let's Chop It Up. I produce it's called the Black and Latino Media. You're the first person of Latin descent on the show, my sister.
Wait, no, that's not true. Wait, isn't
My wife.
somebody's wife from Costa Rica?
Oh, that's right. Your wife is from Costa Rica.
Yes,
That's right. Second person.
Second.
Oh, there you go.
First Puerto Rico.
Oh.
And I did say to D just recently that I one day want to start my own podcast, just focusing on starting off with talking about the Latinx culture, because we all come from all different walks of life. Light skin, dark skin, curly hair, straight hair,
No
speaking
hair.
Spanish, not speaking Spanish, no hair.
That's right.
Growing up in America versus growing up in another country and then coming here. I just kind of want to explore all of that. So I'm actually taking notes when I listen to all of you too, because I'm getting a lot of knowledge from all of you so that I can start my own one of these days.
Okay, Lisa, now you got to ask anybody on the show outside of D a question. Ask one question, one pertinent question that you'd like to ask any of the guys other than D.
Okay. I'm dying to know, Derek, on an average basis, how many times does your house guest walk by you? Because that's my favorite thing to see.
He literally waits for us to do this. That's when he comes.
Yeah, he's gonna come out.
I swear to you, it's not even a joke.
Yeah. That's a funny part of the show. Very funny part of the show.
Oh my gosh. I remember she texted me like, yo, D, who's the random white guy? And we were on the show.
Oh, man.
This is the shit I be talking about that she be doing at work, man.
Yeah.
But
Lisa,
I'm side and then laughing. It's on me.
Lisa, I'm thinking about when we come back from the holidays, I'm thinking about getting me a white guy that's going to walk past too.
Hey,
Because the thing is, be honest with you, like, yo, I thought it was kind of hot that Derek had a white guy he owned. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was kind of hot. You know? I said I want one too. So it's like when your man get the BMW, you say, "Oh, I'll get one too."
No, that's hilarious.
So Lisa, we want to thank you, but we want by token of appreciation, we want to give you our first person to receive our Let's Chop It Up t-shirts that we just started. So I need you to text me your size, your address, and Rod will get it out to you as soon as possible. But we truly appreciate you, my sister. I love you to death. I can't wait till my son go back. I need some coquito in my life. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been drunk in over a month or high. What's up for months?
No, I know that's a lie.
I had one setback. So, I relapsed. But listen, I can't wait to hope the things open up. We can check out a Yankee game. This sister's a die-hard Yankee fan right here. And, we can talk about baseball.
Nice.
She played. No, we played. No, serious. Before we get off, she played in the same softball league with me. She's a real deal, man. She boxed, all kind of stuff. So this is real.
Oh, wow.
For the Yankees too. Don't forget for 5
Oh
years.
yeah. That's right. Every year she went out to You tell them about it, Lisa. You tell them.
Yeah, the Yankees have a fantasy camp for women down at their training facility in Tampa, and for 5 years I was there, so I'm officially a Hall of Fame Yankee.
Nice.
I hit a triple on the big field, which is that's a long way to run. Woo!
Wow.
As we get old, it's a long way. We were 21. It felt like it was just like 2 steps, but now as we older, in our 40s, it's a little different now. But Lisa, thank you for coming on here. Thank you for supporting us. I love you, my sister, and I hope to see you really, really soon in person.
Yes, doing a great thing, guys. Love
Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate you. Really appreciate you.
All right. That's my girl Colt Jam right there, man.
And I'm telling you, man, have you ever tried running? Like, when was the last time y'all just pulled off and ran, bro? Like your legs, I just feel like my legs are just in cement. man.
Nah, I can't run the state. I can't do that shit. I'm telling you right now, we get chased by the police. I'm giving up and I'm snitching.
Yeah, they got me.
I'm not doing that shit.
No,
They give it up and snitching.
Listen. First of all, at this stage in my life, running from the police is just definitely no option. Basically, the police come to get me. I just get on the phone with my lawyer and say, "Meet me at the station house." That's it. I'm not running. I'm not running from nobody.
I can't do the run.
Because I can't run. How are they going to chase me 5 car lengths and then I will fall down? No, it's not going to happen. Too old.
So our next viewer, he rocked out with us. He also was a guest, but he's rocked out. And he makes a lot of good comments, and he's part of a lot of those fucked up jokes as a childhood with me. So I'm not. If I'm going to hell, I'm holding this dude's hand with me. So our next producer Jamie, can you bring out my man Brad?
What's up?
What's up?
Brad, what up?
What's going on?
Brad, I'm just going to let you know straight up. I've talked to you. I've known you for a little while. You're going out too. Definitely going to hell. I know your background. I know who you are. You're going to hell.
If I'm going to hell with nickname jokes, he's right there with me. Goddamn it!
So us three pool balls are going to see each other up in hell, down in hell. I mean. Yeah.
Listen. Brad is short for Bradley, so I grew up with Bradley Smells Badly. One of my best friends, my brother's name was Milton, and people every time they see us together go, "Oh, Milton Bradley." And I don't know.
I forgot about that.
I don't know if that hurt. The joke hurt more, or the fact we had to look at them and act like they were the first person to think of that. So that was
Right.
You know, we grew up with it. And like they said, we always kept one in the chamber, man, because we practice our best material on each other, and then we form like Voltron anytime we went someplace else. And ironically, the invisible super producer Jammy, the people on his block, they named our block the Happy Block, because growing up in the 80s, when everybody had to grow up fast and the crack epidemic hit, we stayed like being kids and young and playing. And they said the Happy Block didn't have any rain, and little girls are jumping rope and little boys are riding a bicycle. So guys on Jammy's block is like, "Yo, man, let's go up and beat up some Happy Block niggas."
Just hating.
And they got mad. We used to whip their ass in sports.
Yeah, we were good at sports. We stayed in school, stayed out of trouble. We actually were successful kids. So we just always kept one locked and loaded. I mean, that's kind of how it went.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, Brad, man, you and I, right? Recently, hey, my cousin David. I didn't talk to him in a minute,
Cousin
man.
David's on the house.
Cousin Dave, I love that, man. The Dave group, me and Dave grew up like brothers, man. That's my dude right there, man. I love that dude. Can hit the baseball, boy. That dude could play. But Brad, we talk a lot about different things and everything. Like this year, we saw like social media, and we saw what's the guy named Samuels? What's his name? Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels.
What do you feel about people like that? What do you feel about social media this year in 2020? Not just in general, but just how is social media to you in 2020?
First, Kevin Samuels. It seems like people are capitalizing on monetizing being mean.
Yo,
and that's
Brad, explain to Kevin who Kevin Samuels is for people that don't know.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he's the gentleman who, I guess he's having a podcast with a young sister who was saying that she deserved a 10. She had 2 kids. She was, in her 30s, and she had a healthy income, and she was saying how she deserved a 10. And he went in on her about her looks, and I guess he felt he was doing her a favor, giving her the blunt truth. But I just feel like Kelvin was saying earlier, it's like people just, there's a sense of meanness that people feel like, I don't know, they rather be heard and instead of being helpful, I guess. But that's just how it came off. And who's the right to say, especially with something like love, who can say who you're going to run into, who you're going to meet, no matter how you look, no matter what your background is, who can, just because you're wearing a suit and you're doing okay. I just felt it was a little gratuitously mean.
Hey, look, Mush got a baby. Mush got kids.
Yeah,
Mush ran
cool.
D, you being just as mean, D.
Yeah,
you being just as mean. But yo, I'm gonna tell you what made me think of that, Brad. When I spoke, first of all, I can tell you there's certain dudes you can tell that don't have an appreciation or love for women, and you can see this dude doesn't have it. Regardless, it's just not there, and that's not even to say anything about his sexuality on the real. You can tell he doesn't have regard for women. Secondly, I know of a woman who literally was a waitress. She was a waitress, and she would take care of this dude every day who was divorced. She had 2 kids. She was like practically from the trailer park. This dude loved the way she took care of him every day so much. He wound up falling in love with her. They got married. She was married to a millionaire, and she outlived him. And everything that he had, she now has. And according to this guy, that would have never happened. She didn't take care of the guy because he was a millionaire. She just took care of him because that's the service he gave, and he just fell in love with her. So for somebody to just say, you know, you're just gonna die alone, that right there is foul. And to me, your words that you use on other people, have to be very, very careful, because life has a strange way of humbling us.
Yeah, we don't know. Love is powerful, man. You never know who you're going to end up with. And most people here, most people listening, they've ended up with people. They didn't plan how they were going to meet the person they're with now. Yeah. Like a higher power put them together. Yeah. And they made the most of it. So I don't know. I just thought it was gratuitous, but it's kind of consistent with social media, in my opinion.
I don't think, man. You said be heard or being helpful, man. Like, to me, that was real deep right there, man. You know, people would rather be heard than be helpful. You know, I thought that was real deep, bro. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that. I really wonder what your white assistant has, you know, what he feels about it. That's my man. That is my man.
Yo, that guy's gonna be famous. He's gonna be more famous than all of us. He's gonna be more famous.
Just saying, when I have the barbecue, he's invited.
Okay, that's what's up.
Oh my God, yo! I tell you, we always got one in the chamber, man. We
always got one in the chamber. And sometimes it's funny when I went down to grad school at Clark in the early 2000s, and you know, just chopping it up with classmates and people down south, and they really got offended. And I was like, God, man, I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing. And cats really got offended. So it's weird. I guess it's that Northeast thing, like you know, the dozen, so to speak.
Yeah. Tough skin we always have, man. Like, you know, we just, I don't know, man. It's different down south, man.
And plus, people are being raised differently now. Everybody's very sensitive. That's why me and you had this conversation, D. That's why these young kids, they can't fight because they get so offended. They want to just get so personal. They go home and shoot somebody. You know, it's just crazy. Everybody's too sensitive.
Yeah,
no question. And the question is, can you survive the cafeteria in the junior high? And you got to be able to do that.
Oh yeah. One of my students, man, one of my old students, I saw this program called Men in Progress out at a Boys and Girls High. He murdered somebody this week, 19 years old.
Wow.
It's on the news, 19 years old.
D, you took the conversation down, brother. We were just talking about jokes.
No.
We was bugging out.
It's over jokes, but like Ron said, somebody killed somebody over jokes and stuff like that. You take it that serious, they don't have the skin, and first thing they do is shoot somebody. That's crazy.
And the concept, people don't understand, the idea about going at each other was to avoid fighting.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? It was to use your words. That's like the concept of breakdancing was so you didn't fight. That was the idea. You know, I tell people all the time.
Sometimes the snapping led to fighting. Sometimes the snapping would lead to
anybody
a
at home, let me say this. For anybody who any kid that may be listening or going through this now, the idea is when the crowd is against you and somebody's on a roll, you can't stop that wave. So what you do is you go with it. You go with it. You bug out too. If they see that it hurts you, if they see that you're taking it to heart, then you're done. You got to go with it. You know what I'm saying? And that neutralizes it. You know, because sometimes you can't get the crowd back. Somebody can hit you on a roll. It's a rhythm thing, and they hit you too fast. Sometimes that's it. Just go with it.
Yeah. And then, you know, like back when we talk about breakdancing, Brad had these genie-looking sneakers, right? He had these like this.
No. What happened was Shell told Adidas just came into style, and I asked my mom and my pop, you know, I wanted the Adidas with the little ridges on the front, and they bought, honestly, which were probably high value Adidas tennis shoes, but somehow the ridges and the front of the shoe turned up instead of going down. I don't know how. I'll Google a picture if I can find it one day. So when I came around, they said I had Genie Adidas. You know, and it's just everybody just honed my skills, though. I mean, everybody got starter jackets. I had a Georgetown pyramid jacket. I couldn't live down. I had to go home before the street lamp came on. That's just, and everybody, like Didi was fat, Demond, which is funny because he has a little chuckle after jokes now, but he had a little nervous tick when he was growing up. Everything he said, whether serious or not, ended with a.
I still do it once in a while when I get upset more now. When I get
So
upset, I do this.
and he was heavy set. My best friend, my brother Milton, he looked like a frog. We call him Kermit.
Yeah.
There was no heavy set back then. They used to call it husky.
Oh, fat. No. We have fat people. We have fat people.
Yo, everybody in my neighborhood, we grew up. Everybody was skinny. If you was kind of big, they called you husky.
Yeah. Oh, you called the one person fat. Like we had like Eugene was fat. Remember Brad?
Eugene was fat. My friend Andre had an afro throughout our entire youth, so he never went through the phases of fade, Jerry curl, slope, whatever. Get the afro.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody had something, and everybody used it, and you know, you just always came back. It was all love, though. You know,
it's all love. It's all love. We all like family, man. So it's like we crack jokes. To this day, we can crack jokes on one another.
But to go back to your social media point, I just think that I don't think we really fully adjusted since social media kind of, you know, became mainstream. So it gave everybody a microphone, and it made everybody feel like what they had to say is important, and it's really not.
Yeah.
And it's not no disrespect.
I agree.
What my friends say, what my family say, that's important. But now you got 200 friends on Facebook. You have to say something that somehow doesn't offend anybody. You're putting on a public face. And I really think, and you can see with the kids now, social media creates behavior that's driven by a response.
Correct.
And that's really the damage. It's like Kevin Sanders things. He probably felt he was spitting the truth, but I'm sure there's some part of him also looking for a response, looking for a guy to say, "Yeah, man, she only a 5" or something like. He's looking for somebody to co-sign.
Right.
And if you really don't grow up until you realize your internal governor should really dictate how you behave. If you're 40, he looks like 40, 50 years old, and he's getting off on responses, the chat room. You haven't really grown up yet, in my opinion.
And then the other thing, Brad, the other problem is the fact that she went there seeking and searching him, which gives him validation. So
she created an entire society they're governed by feedback. All right, I'm gonna behave according to what the chat room says or what the consensus is. Honestly, you really, hopefully you have family and friends, people, and that's another thing about our snapping. We kept each other in line. You know, we were our own governors, and you know, and you kind of knew going out into the world. So now you can tell me and Dee, we're boys, because we were honed and schooled in the same little community, as opposed to the internet is a wide open community. And the final thing I'll say about social media, and I understand it's done a lot of good things, it's bridged a lot of gaps and reconnected people, but the fact that you're driven by Jack and Mark, like most of the communication is driven by Jack and Mark. That's a little disturbing to me.
I'm trying to explain something to somebody.
Imagine Jack and Mark created the highways and interstates, and the only way you can go somewhere without them was to take the back streets. That's the kind of control that they have in the social media kind of landscape. So now, boom, if I get a traffic ticket for speeding on the highway, I got to pay a ticket to Jack and Mark. I got to pay my toll to Jack and Mark. They run the highways. If you want to do it without them, you got to go through the back streets.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a little manipulative to me, and it's too much power and too few hands. And it kind of, again, look what all the stuff we're going through with the election. Basically, all this communication is at the whim of Jack and Mark. That's a little scary to me.
Well, let me just say this lastly on this subject. The thing, I look at it like this, and we were really, really tough on each other in school also. But the way I did it was this: I would never go after somebody who could not defend themselves. That was the thing. This whole teasing people and humiliating somebody. You went after people who could go back at you, and that was the fun of it. You know what I'm saying? We all grew up together, so we was just bugging out. We was having fun. But the whole idea of just taking one person and like just humiliating them, and they could never defend themselves. I never found anything, cool about that. I always
we didn't care about
that can go back. See, now we wouldn't break somebody down that couldn't. We like, what I'm saying? We like the fair one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I agree with Kelvin. Like we didn't, you didn't get props for preying on the weak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like you didn't get props for that. Like that's like starting a fight with a guy that you outweigh by 200 pounds.
Yeah,
and then he doesn't want to fight you, but you're still trying to fight him. To me, that's the bigger guy is the weak guy. The guy don't want to fight. Leave him alone.
That's why I used to
Yeah.
knock Eminem for going after Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake. Go after just MCs who got a mic and to go back at you. That's
Yeah, we didn't care about that.
There's something.
Real quick. I want to ask Brad this question. So, how do you feel about the show? And anything we want us to add on to it and bring back? And then we know we always want you to come back as a guest. Like you're going to be one of our once in a while guests to come back on because you always have good insight.
No, like I told you on the first show, man. I mean, that haven't been in the barbershop in years, so it's good to just
reason.
Just kick it. You know what I'm saying? And again, you'll hear different points of view, opinions, and kind of current events and things like that. I like healthy conversation. It's not too ghetto, and I got no problem saying that. It's got a little bit of everything, so I appreciate that. I like the diverse guests, things talking about health, and I get a little nervous when I see these stories about people in my age bracket, the mid 40s to 50s, dying out here, man. Like,
we
keep bringing on the doctors and the therapists and the, things like that.
We got a whole bunch lined up for the 2021 with doctors and therapists stuff like that. And I forgot to shout out Ecstasy from Houdini, man. That was a good brother, man.
Yeah, that hurt,
man. 56,
Yeah.
man. We don't know what he died from yet, but 56, dude, that's young, man. My sister's 58, bro. So that kind of hurt, But yeah, Brad, man, listen, thank you, man, for always checking us out, man. We love you, brother. You know how I feel about you. You're my brother for life. Like we grew up together, like we really grew up together, like brother. So I love you, man.
Your mom used to buy me cookies every Friday from Key Food. When you didn't eat cookies, she bought them for me.
Word up, she bought them for Brad. That's how tight we are.
Cousin Dave.
And cousin Dave,
man.
my man. Word up.
And my man Rod took care of a situation for me when I first moved back home. And I want to apologize because I was very uptight about it. It was in his exterminating duties. He was taking care of some business for me at home, and I was very anxious about some service. And I might have snapped because the situation was breaking me. But he came through for me, and he took care of my household and took care of my mom's. And I don't got nothing to promote. I just want to shout out to my mom. She's the strongest person I know. My pops passed years ago, and we kind of automatically put the halo on the people that passed. I want to give her the halo just for enduring and riding life out and being my rock. So I appreciate y'all giving me this little microphone for a second, and I just keep on enjoying the show.
And the way and Brad mom's from down south, she always calls his name Bradley.
Brad, I appreciate that apology. It also shows that your character as a man, and I appreciate that. And I accept your apology.
And I will stop messing with your microphone now that we.
All right, man.
He made me sound like a hitman. He said he came over and took care of some exterminator duties.
I need some cleaning.
I had to go break a couple of brothers' heads open.
Yo, Brad, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate you, man. Love you, man. Happy New Year, brother.
Anytime. I can't wait to get my T-shirt too.
Oh yeah, Brad. Yeah, what size? Motherfucker, I see you all the time. So we'll get your T-shirt to you. All right, man.
All right, y'all. Peace out.
All right, peace.
I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send that shit real small. It's gonna be real small.
Small for small. Oh my gosh, hilarious.
Peace out.
Yo, he said, I'd rather be heard. People would rather be heard than be helpful.
That's
I
good.
love
That's
that
good.
because that feeds into like this whole attitude that I see in the internet where people just kind of say whatever they want to say with no repercussion. You know what I mean? It's like, you talk about, there was a time when we came up, you'd have to, there was more human intercourse. We used to have to talk, discourse, in person. And now because of that, people just kind of just let fly. You know what I mean? And
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So we got one more guest. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to, for the sake of time. We have one more guest that been rocking out with us, following us. Also appeared on the show one time. Can we bring in the wonderful Miss Brittany?
Yay!
That's
Hey,
right.
Brittany.
Y'all gonna see this time in
Hey, Brittany, how you doing, girl? How you doing?
I know. I was trying to kill time because we had technical issues, so we was trying to work some issues out. So we got Rod back in the studio. So we trying to.
Okay. How y'all doing?
what's up,
How
Brittany?
you doing?
I'm my favorite niece. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, my favorite uncle.
Uh-oh.
Brittany's
That's good.
Brittany's my favorite friend's niece.
My favorite uncle's
I
friend.
tell you, favorite uncle's friend. I told D I always have a soft spot for Brittany because Brittany made me some money.
Listen,
But let me start it off.
for me.
Brittany, you know,
Go ahead.
your appearance was very, very telling on the show, and you know, very interesting, very polarizing to a lot of people. One thing we learned about you, you are very, very direct and you are honest and open.
You better know.
So what do you like about the show? What do you think we need to tweak? Give us your overall opinion and review.
What I like about the show is that you guys talk about all topics. And you bring in so many different people from different walks of life, and that's great because even the one where you guys had the young lady that's a dancer, that was interesting. You know, we want to know a little bit of that side of the world too. I think the tweak would be maybe you guys could do like not suggestion, like what is the word I'm looking for?
Advice
hour, and it doesn't have to be every episode, just a few episodes here and there. And there was one more, but I don't remember it right. Oh, I think you need a female presence that's more consistent. So I know this is supposed to be the Black man's perspective, but it's always good to have that consistent female who comes in and out on almost every show.
Is there anybody you can think of like that? Think of a person who's young, intelligent, witty.
I'm gonna have to check my contacts and see who I know.
Wow. I think I know a person. I think her name begins with a B too.
Really? Yeah.
We're gonna talk about it.
I might know her too.
Go ahead. Good plug on yourself, Brittany. I like that.
There you go.
Well, we gotta get with some of Brittany's friends. Her friends got big mouths. Can you give
Well, your uncle could say it like that too, man.
Brittany, I'll tell you, your segment was very, very interesting. It made for a lot of great debate. Now, just as an update for the people that are viewing at home, has any of your stance changed? Because all of the guys that have come, like, listen, we think Brittany is a goddess, but I'm trying to work my way up. Right now, I'm on fries, and soon I'll be washing lettuce. Then I'm on the grill, and that's when the big bucks come in. So, Brittany, do they have a shot? Is there any path that they can have to Brittany without being in that six-figure range?
Now, Calvin, I'm an educator, and there's teachers that go around and say there are no stupid questions, but I am not that teacher. My standards have not changed.
Hey, Kelvin, they got to get past me first.
Yes, that right there, that combination.
It's a hard between me and her mother. It's gonna be really hard for a dude. And I cracked a lot of jokes. The dude went on my joke cracking. He got to go.
I always tell people, if you can't take a joke, don't come to my house because you're not going to survive at the front door.
Yeah.
Turn it up. That's
Brittany, one last question for me. One last question, and this is a little off topic, but I ask every teacher this. We have seen probably in the last 20 years an influx of inappropriate teacher-student relationships. And I was trying to figure out, I always ask educators what that's about. One teacher told me some people just grow up with this wild, sick fantasy about the people that educate them. But first of all, do you guys pay as much attention to it as we do? And is there a reason that you can point to that you think this is happening more?
Define inappropriate?
I mean of a sexual nature. The thing we've seen, I think it was years ago, there was one teacher, she not only had a child with a 15-year-old, had another one, and then divorced and married the boy. You guys remember that one?
Yeah.
Spanish lady out in California or something like that, or Texas or something like that. And so what I'm saying is that we were trying to allude to this earlier. Is it because we know about this stuff more now, or is it just more prevalent now?
I think it was probably always happening. And I think the level of attention, and I can only speak from a woman's perspective, the level of attention that those kind of women are probably getting in a high school setting that they're not getting from men of their own age is probably what's intriguing them. And not realizing that it's inappropriate, to say the least. And also that these young kids, they don't understand that you're the adult in the situation. So
correct.
For them, it's just, I'm joshing around with my boys. Let's see who can get Miss Holder. But for you as an adult, you got to know how to shut that down and not take it as an advance, because they're just doing that because that's a teenage nature.
Adolescence, right?
Yeah, but women, especially those women, and it's always white women. No offense to anybody, it's always a random white woman who's married.
Definitely your uncle's niece.
Okay, it's always Kelly who done married Billy or Bobby and Chad. But I definitely think it's just that they don't get that same attention from the men in their age range. So they just take it completely wrong.
And it seems like teachers are young now. When I was, my teachers was,
teachers have gotten a lot younger.
like old, right? Like
we know, we think that, but when I look back, my teachers in high school were in their early 20s, and I think about it now.
really.
Yes, and a lot of the teachers that I came in with, because I started late, I did a whole career switch. They are 21 and 22, and it's baffling to me because at 21 and 22, I wasn't teaching nobody kids. Let me just tell you, I barely should be teaching them now at 31. At 21,
Yeah. Hey, Brittany, I want to ask you a question. Which is worse, the kids or the parents?
The parents.
Absolutely.
I agree.
I agree too, because when I used to work in the school, and the topic that she was talking about with the teachers having inappropriate relations with the students, like I used to always have conversations with teachers, and I used to hear like certain female teachers make an inappropriate remark about a male student about maybe his looks. You know what I mean? And I used to be like, you got to remember, you're at work, they're at school. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, and if you think that kid is going to keep that a secret, you are out of your mind.
Kids tell everything. If you want to know anything,
you're going to tell everything.
Will tell you. They don't hold water. Okay.
Yeah.
One little slip up curse word. It's around the school in 5 minutes. Curse.
She's right.
They tell everything.
The rumor mill in a school, especially a high school, it probably can travel throughout a day and maybe in half an hour. It'll be all over. It'll be all over.
Yep.
Absolutely. And then with me, I teach in a hood neighborhood, it's the hood. So with those parents, I have a balance because I know how to connect to them on their level. I know where you're coming from. I know your mentality, and I can speak to you on that level. So I get away with a lot more than some of my counterparts who may be Latino or white or older and not know how to connect. But the parents are still worse than the kids because the kids get everything that they come to school with from the parents. So sometimes you meet a parent and you be like, yep, that's exactly why she act like that. I knew.
Brittany, somebody just gave you an amazing comment on your hair.
Well,
they said it looked fire.
I did it.
Go ahead, tell it live.
I used to braid her hair when she comes stay with me.
Man with a bald head, cut this. That's nice. You still go to the barbershop with that bald head? I still can't figure that one out.
No, I don't listen.
All y'all bald. Do all y'all go to the barbershop?
No, I shave my own head.
I shave my own head.
I got my beard done at the barber. I shave my own head.
I can never understand why a bald head man go to the barbershop and keeps his
and you know what they do? They charge you more for shaving a bald head too. That's crazy.
Men go to the barbershop. Black men go to the barbershop no matter what because it's a black man's country club.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
And you get stuff on cheap. Like I got Mad Dove and all over lay in here. No crackhead. I got mad stuff. I got Tide, all kinds of Christmas gifts, all kinds of Kwanzaa. I had somebody make me something for Kwanzaa. One crackhead came to the barbershop. They made it for me. I love the barbershop. So Brittany, my final question to my favorite niece is not favorite. This is my demand. No guy can come here with no side teeth missing, no braids. You can't be meeting me wearing no Jordans. That's a no-no.
Jordans?
No. He got to be dressed up that day. And he can't have no shiny belt showing. I don't want to see no belt buckle showing.
I wouldn't show up. Jordans are a stretch. Y'all said my standards was high. That man's standards high. They can't wear no Jordans.
Nah, I let him get the Jordans. We can't have that shiny belt. No Maz, whatever them damn belts names. Gucci, Louis Vuitton. None of that. He better not meet with none of that shit.
Okay. Wow.
But no, Brittany, thank you so much for always rocking out with us, Brittany. I know your address already because you use my Amazon account. So I'm
let that free prime.
I'm gonna send you. We're gonna send you. Rod's gonna email you. Email you. He's gonna mail you out a Let's Chop It Up shirt that Kelvin's displaying for you right now. Oh. I love you, my favorite niece. Listen, you be safe. You always going outside in this damn COVID-19. My niece be partying, traveling over the goddamn world all the time.
Don't be telling my business now. You telling my business.
Brittany, I'm gonna text you later to get your size on your shirt.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thank you, my favorite niece. Love you, girl. Later.
All right.